Hi, hello everyone. Hi, hello everyone. Now we would actually be talking about the next concept, which is nothing but the market intelligence system. A market intelligence system focuses on the systematic collection and processing of information from all the relevant sources to ascertain the changing trends in the marketing environment. In simple words, the marketer gathers data from all the available sources and process these into meaningful information that can be used to make critical business decisions. Market, like I have said, market is not alone. In market, there are many sources, there are many parties that are affecting us, that are governing us, and that are competing us. So if you want to stay in the race, you want to identify what is happening in the market, what are the latest trends in the market, and how to overcome those trends, and how to gather more and more customers, and how to create more and more demand for our products. So you should analyze all the data, gather the data from all the sources, and process this raw data into something useful information for the organization, and this is done through market intelligence system. What does the NIA? There is a agency called NIA in India, which is nothing but National Investigative Agency. What does that agency do? That agency investigates all the sources around us and try to find out the anti-social elements. In the same way, marketing intelligence system is a system which gathers the data around us and converts that raw data into some useful data which can be used by the marketer tomorrow for the purpose of his organization and for the purpose of his customers or for the purpose of his marketing activities. That is called as market intelligence system. So this picture on the screen right now exactly demonstrates what does the market intelligence system consists of. From where will you collect the data? Market intelligence system collect the data from the customers. Market intelligence system collect the data from the customer advisory panel, which are nothing but the people who are going to advise the customers. Then market intelligence system collects the data from the suppliers, from the retailers and distributors, of course, from the internet, from the government sources, and from the sales force. Sales force means the people who are selling you the product. They are called as the sales force. So there are some training and motivation programs for sales force. Several training modules are conducted to encourage sales force who are in direct touch with the ultimate customers to collect all the relevant information related to the product along with the customer's experience of using it. A market intelligence is acquired when the sales force is motivated to give the valuable feedback and suggestions about the product offers and opportunities prevailing in the market to their managers, who then convert these into actionable plan. Salesforce is the person who comes in touch with the customer directly. Salesforce is the person who is directly coming face to face with the customer. Salesforce is the person who is representing your product before the customer. Salesforce is the person who is representing the organization before the customer. So Salesforce will talk to the customers. Salesforce will find out the experiences of the product from the customers. Salesforce will try to find out the various opportunities that are there for this product from the customers. And then they will transfer this information to their immediate managers, who will then analyze or process this information and convert this into the actionable plans. So Salesforce are the very, very important constituent of the market intelligence system. Then distributors and retailers. A retailer or a service provider send its own person as the mystery guest who acts as a customer himself and check the quality of a product and the way employees are handling the customer's queries. So these distributors and retailers, what they will do is they will send one of their own member as a customer to the shop. and they will try to find out how the sales force are dealing with the customers, how the sales force are selling the products, and how is the customer experience when he is buying the product. Remember, my dear friends, I am not talking about the customer experience when you are using the product. Rather than, I am talking about the customer experience when you are buying the product. Right from the moment you buy, that product should give you a positive experience. That is the reason why, if you see, Apple stores are also designed in such a way that they give a pleasant experience. You go into the Apple store and you see the experience there, you see the ambience there, you see the behavior of the sales force there, it will certainly create a unique experience in you. Because even the moment you think of buying the product, you should get a positive experience. That retailers and distributors make sure that it is there or not. Competitors, what are the competitors doing? Like I said in the last class, competitor is your best teacher. So try to learn from the competitor what to do and what not to do. You see competitors, you see how they are going, you see what they are doing, you see how they are successful, you see the marketing strategy which they are adapting. So you try to understand how competitors are doing, because they are your best teachers, and they will let, and seeing them you can decide your strategy. So why will the competitors tell their secrets to you? No, they will never ever tell their secrets to us, because they are our competitors. But how can you get these things out? So you can use internet, where every information about the competitors' products and its variants, the price, the easy pay schemes, services, the feedback, everything is available. And using that information, you do a comparative study. Where is the competitor and where am I? What are the strong points of the competitor? What are the strong points of me? What are the weaknesses of the competitor and what are the weaknesses of myself? You try to match those things, and your competitor's weakness should become your strength. Your competitor's threat should become your opportunities. And one more source through which you can get the information about your competitors is through the distributors and the retailers. Because distributor is not going to distribute alone your product, or retailer is not going to sell alone your product. He is also dealing with the other products along with your product. So try to get maximum information from the retailers and distributors about your competitors, so that you can use that information tomorrow against your competitors whenever and wherever it is required. Customer suggestion panel. Companies using their internal marketing intelligence prepare a list of their customers who frequently make the purchases, and among those set up a panel who give their advice out to new customers about the product and benefits. This method is very useful as people rely heavily on others' experiences and they try a product or a service at least once. It is most commonly seen in schools and colleges, where the community of alumni is created who give their expert comments on the quality of teaching and the courses to be opted in a particular educational institute. So customer suggestion panel is nothing but you will have some set of loyal customers. You will have some set of dedicated customers who alone will buy your product and not any product that is available in the market. You select some people among these loyal customers, and these people who are the hardcore fans of your product, who are the hardcore loyals of your product, who are the hardcore, hardcore fundamental uh, fans of your organization. What they will do is they will share their experiences with the new customers. And whatever advertisements you give, whatever sales promotion you do, whatever marketing schemes you do, when one person tells a positive experience to another person, that matters a lot. Like I said, like I studied it on the screen right now, the best example of this are the schools and colleges. Before you join your sibling in some school or a college, what will you do? You will speak to someone who is already studying in that college and try to find out how is it. Because every college will tell I am the best college. It is not the college which should grade itself, it is the students which should grade it, the colleges. So that's why before joining anyone in the college, what do? You talk to their alumni, you talk to their students who are already studying in that college or who have already studied in that college, and you try to find out. That is customer suggestion panel. Government data sources. You will have certain sources from the government through which you can calculate the data. Census. Every year the central government will take the census, or every 5 years once. Or the data about the literacy level, data about the agriculture, data about recession, data about inflation. All this data also you can use in your marketing research. So even the government data also you can use it. Outside suppliers also you can use. How are they supplying it? From where are they supplying it? What price are they getting it? How are they getting it? You can also especially contact the suppliers who are supplying to your competitors. And customer feedback system. You keep a free comment form inside the your product packing, where customer will fill that form and send it back to you. And you might also give some gift whenever a customer supplies his feedback back to you. Because if you ask a customer a feedback directly, he may not be interested to give. If you want to make a customer give the feedback, you should actually make the customer do that by offering something, or a feedback or suggestion on the company's website. All these things also can be done. Marketing decision support system. A system used to manipulate a collection of data to interpret and explore potential business scenarios in order to make management decisions. These are considered as a key tool in some of the businesses. What do? They can be used to assist, they can use it to assist the decisions that are taken in the organization, especially in the complicated scenarios, which are very common in marketing. Marketing intelligence system is collecting the intelligence of the market system around you. Marketing decision system is, if you want to take any complicated decision in the marketing, you need certain information to support you, you need certain data to support you, you need certain concrete piece of information or data to support you, and that data or information which is gathered, which is interpreted, can be given to you when you use this MDSS, which is called as the marketing decision support system. Then the very important aspect of this unit after the marketing environment is market segments. What is this whole fuss about market segments? Market for a product is big and diverse, making it difficult for companies to be able to satisfy every customer. The market for a product is so big, market for a product is so diverse, means many fields are there, many links are there to satisfy. It is not a single road, it is a multiple road. So it has become very difficult. Companies need to identify a certain set of customer within a market and work towards satisfying them. So what do these companies need to do? Companies need to concentrate only on a specific set of customers so that they can do it effectively and efficiently, rather than concentrating on the whole market. This set of identification is called as market segment. That particular set of people who you actually collect, who you actually fix around you, that is called as the market segment. Earlier, business operation was in the form of mass marketing. Mass marketing means you are supplying it to the mass, you are supplying it to the whole society, you are supplying it to the people who are very large in number and who are very diversified in nature. But when now in mass marketing, companies produce a product in large quantities and serve this product to as many customers as possible, like I said. This made sense as markets were developing and not much variety was offering. When you don't have much variety to offer, when you offer a common product, then you can do it in the mass market. But now, whereas the scenario has completely changed and product offerings have undergone radical change, which means you have brought customized products into the market thanks to advertising and communication reach. Through that advertising and through that reach of communication, you can know what are the customized products that are available there in the market. Therefore, companies look forward to market at segment, niche market, local market, and at the individual level market. In segment marketing, companies identify consumer with similar needs and wants. You have a whole lot of people around you. You have some 1,000 people around you, out of which only some 100 to 200 people will have a similar want and need, and the product that you are offering will only be purchased by 100 or 200 people, and the remaining 800 people does not really give a damn about your product. So why to concentrate on the whole 1,000 people when they don't exactly want your product, rather than you try to concentrate on only the 200 people who have exactly the requirement which your product can satisfy. For example, an airline is looking forward to provide no frills connectivity between metro cities on US East Coast. This segment is within airline industry, but needs of customer is different. Target audience are low budget travelers because no frills connectivity. However, customers within the segment look for different attributes. For example, lunch or beverages. Here, companies offer this by charging the customer. I am a low budget customer. I want it at the low price, no doubt. But in the low price, I want a lunch also to be served. I have a different set of need. But in the low price, I have some refreshments to be served. That is a different set of need. So you, in the low price only, you offer some lunch, but charge him extra. Not a problem. So you try to segment the customers in those levels. In niche marketing, companies target limited customer set. Specialty marketing, niche marketing is nothing but specialty marketing where your customers are very, very limited. The customers for Lamborghini cars are very, very limited. The customers for Ferrari cars are very, very limited. The customers for Maruti Alto, are they limited? No, they are vast in number. But when you come to a limited set of target market, that is nothing but you call it as niche marketing. A niche marketing is worth exploring where customers are willing to pay a premium for the product. Entry barriers are high, entering into the market is high, but even then, market has growth potential. In local marketing, customers are local neighborhood. Many banks prefer local marketing. In individual marketing, individual level needs and wants are to be sold, to be satisfied. And internet is facilitating this process because when you enter into an e-commerce platform like Amazon or Flipkart, you have the option to filter what do you want, which price range do you want, what brand do you want it with free delivery or not, what is the discount do you want, which means they are sorting it out or they are filtering it out at the individual level. So internet is the major platform where you can actually follow this or where you can actually adapt this individual marketing. The market segmentation follows some process. The first step is to group customers according to the product and service they want. So identify the customers who have a similar needs. Analyze then divide those customers based upon demographic, lifestyle, and usage market. Identify the growth potential, competition, and other factors in that. Identify the profitability of that. Take the positioning activity, what is the price and what is the marketing. And then you have to follow different marketing strategies to explore the market. First one is identify the people with the similar need. Second one is divide those people based upon the demographic, lifestyle, or usage. Third one is identify the potential and competitors there. Next is identify the profitability there. Next, identify the positioning and pricing there. And then follow these positioning and marketing strategies to explore it to the fully. There are various factors which affect the segmentation in a consumer market. The first one is geography on basis of region, city, rural, urban, climate. Second one is demography, like we said, age, family size, gender, household, education, occupation, race, religion. Segmentation also can be done on the basis of lifestyle and personality also. On an individual level, at an individual level, segmentation can be done on your attitudes, on your perceptions, on your beliefs, on your values, etc. Segmentation is affected by demography. Operational segmentation is on the technology class customer consumption. If you do, that is called as operational segmentation. Purchasing methodology comes into the picture. Order requirements also comes into the picture. Usage levels. So what are the basis of market segmentation? Geographical segmentation, demographical, psychographic, and behavior. This is very important. Identify these four levels. What is geographical segmentation? Based upon the geographical location of the customers. Are they living in the north? Are they living in the south or east or west, rural, urban? All these things comes into the picture. For example, the banking needs of the people living in rural and urban areas are different. So therefore, different banking products and services are designed keeping in mind the different preferences of each customer group. So in rural, you go for very less amount of loans, you go for less customized products, but in urban, you go for more amount of loans and you need more customized products. So that is geographical segmentation. On demographical segmentation, you are actually dividing the customers based upon the age, gender, occupation, family size, etc. Such segmentation is based on the premise that customers' buying behavior is very much influenced by his demographics, and moreover, these variables can be measured easily as compared to others. So, based upon the age, you actually, what do? You segment it. Pepsi for the youth, Thumbs Up for the youth, Maza, youth will less prefer it, but the other age groups will prefer it. So like that, based upon the age, you do that. Behavioral segmentation. Marketer segments the market on the basis of individual's knowledge about the product and his attitude towards the product. My knowledge, if I have more knowledge about that product, I will buy. Or if I feel that that product is matching my attitude, then I will buy. So occasions, during the occasions, we buy more. Behavioral segmentation. Usage rate, buyer readiness, loyalty status, attitude, all this comes into the picture. The buyers can be classified as those who buy the product or services occasionally or who buy only these products from which they derive some sort of benefits. Also, there are some buyers who can be called as ex-users. Ex-users means who already used your product but are not using it anymore. Potential users who have not yet used your product but who have all the qualifications to use your product. First time users who are using the product for the first time, and regular users who are regularly using this product. Based upon this also, you can do the segmentation. On the usage rate, you can do it as light usage, medium usage, and heavy usage. Psychographic segmentation is related to the personality, lifestyle, and attitude of the individual. Customer buying behavior can be determined by the personality and the lifestyle. The personality refers to traits, attitudes, and habits of an individual. So, if you are introvert, if you are an extrovert, if you are ambitious, if you are aggressive people. That's why one of the advertisements says in Telugu, risk lakpote raskaina dakkadu, which means people should be very aggressive. that is aggressive segmentation. Lifestyle means the way a person lives his life and do the expenditure. See, you see these torn out pants, you see these gap shirts, or you see these shoes, you see these ornaments they wear, and you see these different types of accessories they wear. All these are the lifestyle segmentation that comes into the picture. Target market represents a group of individuals who have similar needs and perceptions and interests. We know that. They show inclination towards similar bands and respond equally to market fluctuations. So when you have a same need, what will you do? You show a same type of inclination. You show a same type of behavior. Individuals who think on the same lines and have similar preferences form the target audience. And this target market includes individuals who have almost similar expectations from the organizations or the marketers. How to select the target market? It is essential for the organization or marketers to identify the set of people who they want to target. So, how to select the target market? To select the target market, first one is understand the lifestyle of the consumers, age group of the individuals, income of the consumers, spending capacity, education and profession, gender, mentality, and social status and kind of the environment. Always remember, be you will never be successful if you try to impress everyone. So be specific. You cannot satisfy everyone. You cannot make everyone happy. Whatever you do, how much ever you do, there will be certain people who are still not happy with your things. So please don't try to impress everyone. Be very specific. Identify the individuals who show similar characteristics, put them in one group to create target market. Within a broad market, you select the people who are having some specific set of needs, gather them and make them into a broad market. Example is target market of Facebook. This has evolved along with the company. The founders targeted the college students of the United States, which can be seen in its pitch deck too. Target market of Snapchat is below the age of 25, most of which are still in high school and college, preferably females, form the target market of Snapchat. McDonald's, students, employees, and professionals in the age group of 8 to 45 years, belonging to low and middle income group and having an easygoing and careless personality. I belong to low income group, I belong to middle income group, but I have a personality of easy, careless going, careless personality. So that's what McDonald target. Target market analysis, how do you do? First question is who? Who is going to buy the product? What are the qualities they have? What is their gender? What? Which type of products do you they want to buy? Which type of products satisfy their requirements? When? When are they doing this? When are they buying this product? Is it daily or rarely? Or when are they using this product? Are they using it regularly? Where? Where are they living? Geographical segmentation. Where do they use the product? Where are they using it? For their household purpose or from some other purpose? Why? Why do they buy it? Is it a need for them? Is it a luxury for them? Is it profitable for them? Or is it not profitable? Big enough. The market segment that you are offering, is it as big enough so you can get good profits in the future also? Or is it very rigid where the profits are guaranteed only for a specific period? Still growing? The market which you are there, is there a capability for it? So the market segment in which you are operating, is it going to be there in the future also, or is it going to be dead very soon? Because after working so hard, is it going to be there only for a fraction of moments, or is it going to be there for a considerable amount of time? You need to check it out. And how many competitors are there? Is it densely located with competitors, or do you have very less competitors so that you can play whatever you want in the market? And the last one, but not the least, and the most important one is, does your product have all the capabilities to satisfy the needs and wants of the customers, or to satisfy the luxury of your customers? So what is this market positioning? Where do you position? The concept of market positioning first came to light in 1969 by Jack Trout and was later popularized when Trout and co-author Al Ries published Positioning: The Battle for Your Mind in 1981. Both Trout and Rice describe market positioning strategy as a battle to create a unique impression in a customer's mind so that they associate something distinctly desirable with your brand. Positioning is nothing but a battle for a space in your mind. Every product wants some space in your mind, my dear friends. For example, take Nirma. Nirma is a washing powder which comes from India, which functions very well, and which satisfies all the customers. But even today, are you buying Nirma? Why? Because Nirma is positioned as a cheap product. Nirma has occupied a space in your mind that it is very cheap. So even the low class, low income group people also nowadays does not prefer Nirma because even they think that it is cheap. So that is a positioning mistake or the positioning blunder that they have done. The core elements of the positioning are: when a positioning segment, this should outline the basis of the identity. What is the basis of the identity of your product? Please identify that basis and try to highlight that identity against your competitors. Critique that identity. Compare your product with your competitor's product and say, hey, this is what I got when compared to my competitor. Identify your strength and try to show it effectively and efficiently to your competitors. Position yourself existently, outline your present position in the market. Show your market. In order to suitably compete for your market share, you need to determine your existing market position. What position are you there and what position you want to reach in the future? Understand the conditions of the marketplace. How are the conditions of the marketplace? How many competitors are there? What types of customers are there? What is the environment in the market? And based upon that, create a unique market position, unique, which should be different from everyone. Unique impression you create about your business in the mind of your competitors, distinct from other companies within your space. How best you try to cater to the customer base will be based upon your position in the market. And then you do this qualitative and quantitative testing using surveys, focus groups, interviews, and try to find out those things. And if you want more about this segmentation, you can use this link where it will give you major exhaustive notes about the segmentation. Last but not the least, very a small concept is perceptual mapping. Perceptual mapping is mapping with the help of the pictures. There is a power to pictures, and that is the reason that perceptual brand mapping such an can be an effective tool for the marketing people. Perceptual brand mapping is the visual plotting of specific brands against X and Y axis, each representing brand attributes that are known to be drivers of brand selection. You take X axis, you take Y axis, and you actually plot these brands there. Done well, this can depict the relative position of competitors in the minds of the markets. If you do this perceptual mapping well, this perceptual mapping can help you to identify the position of yourself and your competitors also in the minds of your customers. See, the example right now on the screen is the perceptual mapping of the cold beverages that satisfy the thirst. So on the x-axis, you have taken fruity. On the y-axis, you have taken energy, and see the perceptual mapping done there. And one more example is C, financial effectiveness. If you want a high end of financial effectiveness and high end of prestigious, if you want high money and high prestige, go for Mercedes, BMW, or Mitsubishi. If you want to have low finance and high prestige, go for Jaguar, Toyota, and Ford is actually in the middle. If you want high finance and low prestige, go for Volvo or Honda. If you want low finance and low prestige, go for Proton or Audi. See, this is the perceptual mapping not related to India. So please don't be confused. This is the perceptual mapping when you take US, UK, and other countries, other developed economies and countries into consideration. This is the concept of perceptual mapping. And with this, we end this chapter number 1 of your marketing management, which is nothing but the introduction to marketing, in which your marketing environment is very important, your market segmentation is very important, your market positioning would be very important, and all the relative topics will also gain some major importance there. So with this, I would be concluding the unit number 1 of the marketing management. Thank you very much for your time, my dear friends. Thank you. Wish you all a very great day ahead. Thank you, one and all.